From the Grady School of Journalism at the University of Georgia in Athens, this is University News.
Hello, I'm Joy Purcell, and welcome to this, the first edition of University News.
And I'm Laurie Silvers. Dr. John Patrick Creason has become Georgia Tech's 9th president. Georgia Tech's Ann Wilcox was there and has the story.
I offer you my congratulations and best wishes for a long and productive period of service.
Delegates from over 70 colleges, universities, and learned societies joined Tech faculty, staff, students, friends, and local and state dignitaries as witnesses to Creason's inauguration. Georgia Governor Joe Frank Harris praised Creason as a skilled politician and a gifted administrator.
His vision, his energy, and his track record made him the clear choice to lead this institution forward at this critical point in its history.
Co-founder of Apple Computer and president of Next Incorporated, Stephen Jobs, described Creason as a quiet leader who needs a challenge to keep him going.
Give him that challenge during his tenure to move Georgia Tech into the best of the best category in this country. And I think we need to give him the resources to accomplish that. And I think we need to support the change that is necessary to accomplish that.
Creason accepted the challenge presented to him by University System Chancellor H. Dean Probst.
If Georgia Tech is to continue to create new technology and new leaders for a technological society, then Georgia Tech must become a technological university designed for the 21st century.
And as Tech prepares to enroll its 100th freshman class this fall, Creason will begin to shape and mold Tech into the role model of the modern technological university that he will lead into the 21st century. From Georgia Tech, I'm Ann Wilcox.
In other news, tuition is increasing once again for students in Georgia's university system. The Board of Regents has approved a 4% increase in university matriculation and non-residence fees. Last year, the board approved a 6.5% fee hike, and Regents Vice Chairman Joe Green says that in the next 2 or more years, students can expect further fee increases. The new budget will be effective summer quarter.
Violent crime is increasing on many college campuses. Katie Darby tells what Georgia Tech and the University of Georgia are doing to combat this problem.
Robbery are on the rise on college campuses, and the question of who's responsible for a student's safety is yielding different answers among parents and college officials. At both the University of Georgia and Georgia Tech, the campus police know their duty is to secure the campus as best they can. But when a student leaves home, they shouldn't expect the same security. It takes both sides.
I feel like we've got a good environment. We have a very low rate of violent crime on this campus. But the parents should understand exactly what their children are going into. Therefore, they can advise their kids how to act, or to come see me so I can advise them how to act.
For the Georgia Tech police, they're patrolling a campus that sits in the middle of an already crime-ridden area, which makes it even tougher to secure every aspect of the campus.
Basically doing a normal routine patrol most of the parking lots and watch for suspicious people.
Thomas says most of the calls he receives are for petty theft, mostly from dorm rooms, which he says could be prevented if more students locked their room doors and didn't prop open the permanently locked outside door, making it very inviting for any stranger.
While measures are being taken to lessen violent campus crime, students are becoming victims of some new unusual crimes, such as federal financial aid embezzlement and the latest, the sale of grades. Although the University of Georgia officials say they do not have this problem, other campus officials are saying it's very easy to hack the system, and it's a crime they're finding very difficult to deal with. This is Katie Darby reporting for University News.
Well, strands of hair may soon be used to identify criminal suspects. Researchers at the University of California at Berkeley have developed a test that analyzes the DNA makeup of human hair. Now, this test provides unique sets of genetic fingerprints, and law enforcement officials in Georgia say that the new technique could prove to be very significant in their fight against crime. Hair is often the most common physical element found at the crime scenes, and officials say that this, plus the fact that DNA patterns can be identified in hair several years after it is found, makes the test a good supplement for fingerprinting. Stay tuned and find out just how President Knapp will muzzle the bulldog and how Jan Kemp is proving her dedication to the University of Georgia.
Georgia Bulldog supporters across the state are worried about the fate of their traditional mascot. After hearing rumors, the administration plans to can the canine. University News reporter Courtney Green answers the question, how about them dogs?
Well, fans of the University of Georgia have been growling about the controversy over their beloved Bulldog mascot, but it seems they've been barking up the wrong tree. University President Charles Knapp and other school officials have been accused of trying to separate the school from its traditional mascot. But the problem is not with the Bulldogs' representation of Georgia's athletic teams. Knapp is concerned only with the graphic identity of the academic side of the university. Vice President of Development and University Relations Nick Edis says different departmental styles don't communicate a unified identity.
All we want to do, just like major institutions all across the United States, other schools around the country, major corporations, is we want to establish a single unified look for the academic side of the university. Probably that look will involve the arch, which is a symbol of the academics, the great academics of this university, research, teaching, and service. But none of that has anything to do with the bulldog. The bulldog is a proud symbol of the tradition of University of Georgia athletics.
There are many familiar symbols connected with the University of Georgia, and the administration wants to keep official publications and stationery styles consistent. A committee of 15 consisting of deans, faculty, and one alumni council member has been appointed to choose a uniform graphic to represent the academic facet of the university. President Knapp has asked the committee to submit its final proposal by August, but students and Georgia fans need not worry. The bulldog will remain the traditional symbol of university athletics. Reporting for University News, I'm Courtney Green.
Henry Kissinger helped Georgia State University kick off its 75th anniversary celebration on Tuesday. University News reporter Jeff Horn has the story.
Former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger warned that the issue of nuclear arms reduction cannot exclude conventional weapons.
We cannot go in nuclear disarmament beyond a certain point without at the same time having a substantial Soviet conventional disarmament. We cannot leave the threat that produced our effort intact.
Kissinger further warned that the United States should not concern itself with Soviet domestic policy, but only with limiting Soviet foreign policy. Reporting for University News, I'm Jeff Horn.
Recent studies show colleges and universities have done a poor job in preparing journalism and business students for the real world. The Roper study of broadcast journalism reports the schools are not providing the camera-ready, entry-level employees that broadcast stations are looking for. The report finds that many colleges lack the resources to provide their broadcast students with the tools they need for hands-on experience.
Song and dance. That is the basis for Up With People. This traveling musical group tours the world to entertain audiences and participate in community services. One of the 5 casts representing 17 different countries delighted Athens residents with its colorful show Monday night at the University of Georgia's Fine Arts Theater. Bringing the world together through music is the priority of the members, who are between the ages of 18 and 25, some taking time off from college to participate in the year-long program. Anyone interested in becoming part of Up With the People may meet with cast members right after a show and set up an interview. Here, troupe member Tommy Spalding of New York explains the interview process.
It's nothing on talent. It's just on our maturity and outgoingness and personality and world awareness.
Coming up next, stress in cows. Find out how vitamin E is helping cows to deal with undue stress.
Corporation has donated more than $1 million in computer hardware and software to the University of Georgia. The equipment grant will be used in the university's new Center for Computational Quantum Chemistry. UGA and IBM officials were on hand at the State Botanical Garden last week to officially recognize the corporate gift. This is the second grant in 2 years that IBM has given to the university.
It's one of a number of projects that we have done over the last 6 or 7 years where we work with institutions that have unique opportunities for development of advanced uses of computing.
The new IBM Model 9370 computer will be used to develop codes and programs that can build computerized models of chemicals outside of the laboratory. It will be housed on the 4th floor of the chemistry building. Inside these as-of-yet unfinished offices, Dr. Henry Schaefer and his 15-member staff will conduct research they say will benefit not only UGA and IBM, but other universities as well.
Our closest connections are with Georgia Tech and with Emory. I mean, we have joint seminars with them, and so the things we're learning are being spread on to Tech and to Emory quite rapidly, and that will certainly have a benefit. We're talking about.
IBM has also donated a vector facility that is being labeled the Cray Eater by company officials. The Cray Corporation currently controls about 60% of the world's supercomputer market. IBM is looking to challenge Cray's standing by entering into joint ventures with leading universities.
People often take vitamin E in hopes of having youthful skin, but as Marty Hames tells us in this report, University of Georgia scientists are finding out that it also helps cattle.
It's mealtime at a cattle lot where researchers at the Coastal Plain Experiment Station in Tifton added vitamin E to some of the animals' food.
It's basically the same vitamin E that humans would consume.
Apparently, vitamin E helps cattle cope with sudden and drastic changes in their lives, such as moving from a pasture with plenty of space to a feedlot. Cattle show everyday stress by losing weight for several days until they adjust to their new home. And during the adjustment time, cattlemen lose money until the animal starts producing beef again. When the animals settle into their new home faster, they produce more meat in a shorter period of time, increasing a cattleman's profit.
We showed that for every dollar spent on vitamin E, you got approximately a $3 return.
Besides producing more meat, the animals live a healthier life with fewer diseases brought on by stress. Not all cattle need it, only those shipped a long distance and then moved to feedlots where they eat a lot of grains, which are often low in vitamin E. Cattlemen can buy it over the counter now at the feed store since it doesn't need FDA approval. The university scientists consider vitamin E a sleeping giant of sorts that could become more popular in the cattle pen than in the home. Marty Hames, University News.
Thank you, Marty. When we return, Jennifer Fox will interview University of Georgia's developmental studies teacher, Jan Kemp.
Highly publicized Jan Kemp trial, and many are wondering what she is doing now. Jan Griffin has the story of the controversial professor who now leads a quiet life.
You don't have to be a student at the University of Georgia to be familiar with this faculty member. Her name is Jan Kemp, better known for bringing the issue of academic preferential treatment of university athletes out into the open. It was her dedication that prompted her to file suit against the University of Georgia. Her concern for the student body is shown through her teaching techniques, as this university student explains.
She shows a good interest in a lot of people. She tells us to go get help, or if we can't get help from them, to come see her.
I always know their individual strengths and weaknesses.
Not only is she the assistant coordinator of the entire developmental studies program, she is also the mother of two. She comes home here after a long day's work to relax and just be herself. Even at home, she stays busy. You may find her in the kitchen, reading in the den, or taking in the sights from her sun deck. With all said and done, her strength has not faltered. This is due in part to her faith and dedication.
As long as you know you're pleasing God, you don't worry about pleasing man.
This dedication can be seen in her tithing part of the $1 million settlement to this local church. She claims her faith inspired her through the lawsuit, and now she has no regrets.
Do it again, first of all, and I don't think I'd change anything because I don't think I was directing it. I think God was.
Fear of another Jan Kemp trial, many colleges across the nation are stressing academics above athletics. Jan Griffin reporting for University News.
Jan Kemp is here with us today to tell us more. Jennifer?
Thank you, Lori. You were going to publish, sell the rights to your movie story. Has anything developed with that?
Well, the rights were sold, and there was a script written, and I haven't heard anything from them since September. And my life is so full right now, I haven't inquired.
Okay. Since the trial, when you first came back, how has the faculty reaction been to you?
Oh, it's been overwhelmingly positive. I've met a number of people who are very supportive.
Was there any mistrust or any negative reaction at all?
There didn't seem to be. If there was, I was oblivious to it, and it's all been worked out.
How about the student reaction?
It's the same as always. They don't even bring it up. They write about it in their journals. That's the only way that I even know they know who I am and what's happened.
What's the journal?
They just say, I was really for you. My daddy thought you were right all along, things like that.
How do you think that the outcome of your case has affected the university as a whole?
Well, I think there's been a tremendous shakeup in terms of administration, but the main difference is I think there's a lot of openness. The faculty has a voice that we didn't have before, and we're all grateful for that.
Okay, and how do you feel about Fred Davison leaving the university?
I think it's a wonderful opportunity for him, and I'm glad he's found that spot. I hope he'll be very happy there.
How do you think that the new administration has, have you seen changes? What kind of changes have you seen between the two?
There are changes. There's a tremendous accessibility for students and faculty that we didn't have before. It's wonderful, it's open, it's honest, forthright.
Do you think that the athletic department itself has changed?
I think so. I think there's a stronger emphasis on academics, and we certainly needed that.
Can you elaborate on that? I mean,
well, we don't get the students that we got before, those that are so deficient that there's nothing we can do for them, and therefore they're exploited. Anybody who's got a 700 2.0 can compete at the University of Georgia, and they are competing. They're not asking for preferential treatment. They're blending right in.
Okay, thank you very much. Did you just tell me? I'm sorry. Do you think that the new standards that the university is talking about employing will help solve some of the problem?
I think so. I think the emphasis on an improvement in undergraduate education is going to make all the difference in the world, and then raising the standards will help somewhat too.
Thank you for joining us, Jan Kemp. And when we return, we'll have coverage of the University of Georgia women's gymnastic team and highlights of a few Olympic hopefuls.
Some University of Georgia athletes, both past and present, have been asked to compete in the Olympics. Carol Galloy has more on these athletes. Carol?
The University of Georgia gymnastics team will defend their national championship title April 23rd in Salt Lake City, Utah. The Lady Dogs will be competing against the top 6 teams in the country. By winning the NCAA Southeastern Regional last Saturday, the Lady Dogs go into the Utah meet seeded 4th. Looking forward to the competition in Utah, Coach Suzanne Yacklin feels the strongest competitors will be the home team.
Well, I think that everyone must feel that Utah would be a pretty tough team to beat because it is at home, it's in their home arena with their fans and on their home equipment. So we feel that Utah's the team to beat.
A Georgia standout at the Southeastern Regional meet was Lucy Weiner. The 21-year-old junior took first place in the uneven bars and floor events, second place all around, and third place in balance beam competition. Proud moments and standout in Weiner's mind include the team winning the national title in 1987. But on a personal level,
to compete in the Olympics was, I didn't compete actually in the Olympic Games because I got injured 2 weeks before, but to be named on the team was just the proudest moment of my life.
Even though Olympic competition is not in the future for Lucy Weiner, the story is not the same for 3 former University of Georgia basketball players. Teresa Edwards, Katrina McLean, and Lisa O'Connor will be trying out for a spot on the 1988 Women's Olympic basketball team. Kurt McKinney has a story on Edwards and McLean.
Former University of Georgia basketball player Katrina McLean has been invited to participate in the Olympic tryout games to be held April 20th through the 24th in Colorado Springs, Colorado. McLean, a 6'2" forward from Charleston, South Carolina, led the Lady Bulldogs last year with nearly 25 points and 12 rebounds per game. McLean was named to the 1986 and 87 Kodak All-American teams and led the Lady Bulldogs to the Southeastern Conference crown in 1986. McLean is known for her intimidating presence inside and led the Lady Bulldogs with 49 blocks in 1987. With tryouts just over 1 week away, McLean says she's not overconfident.
I can't go down there with that attitude. I have to go down there with the attitude that anybody can take my place, and if I don't work hard or if I go down there and slack or lackadaisical, I can lose a spot.
Another player representing Georgia at the tryouts will be former guard Teresa Edwards from Cairo, Georgia. The 5'11" Edwards was named to the Kodak All-American teams in 1985 and 86. The tryout squad will be cut to a final team of 12 players and 2 alternates. They will travel to Seoul, Korea this summer to compete in the Olympic Games. McLean will be one of 58 women trying out for the U.S. Olympic team in the summer, and undoubtedly she will face some of the toughest competition in the United States. But she believes with the right efforts and hard work, she will be able to represent the Bulldogs in the summer. Reporting for University News, I'm Kurt McKinney.
Teresa Edwards and Cheryl Miller were the only members of the 1984 Women's Olympic team who were still in school. The University of Georgia is now in the process of choosing its 1988-89 cheerleading squad. Of the 96 students who turned out at the practice, only 12 men and 12 women will make the squad. All of the students chosen at the G-Day football game must be a special type of person and athlete, says cheerleading advisor Bill Matthews.
Is an athlete, someone that has the ability to do stunts, to do rhythm, to have rhythm and coordination.
And that's it for sports. Thank you, Carol. If you have any comments or questions concerning University News, you can write to us at University News, Box 289, Grady School of Journalism, Athens, Georgia, 30602. And that's it for this edition of University News. Thank you for joining us. As we go, we leave you with some closing thoughts from University of Georgia students who told us what they dislike most about the school.
My biggest beef with the university is probably the lack of parking spaces.
The advisement and registration system.
The lack of open party for everyone.
Parking.
Parking. No parking. A lot of cars, no parking space. Late in class, it's every day same problem.
No problems whatsoever.
Everyone just walks around sort of lost because, we don't have enough advisement, enough good advisement, enough information given to us.
The party should go on at least a little bit longer, you know what I'm saying?
A lot of conservative people around here, a lot of BMWs. Now,
University News is a student production of the Grady School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Georgia, which is solely responsible for its contents. Views expressed on this show do not represent those of the administration nor the board of the University System of Georgia.